Hello and welcome to another wicked gameplay video. Today we're back in Prepared and I really wanted to look at the very nice A2A Simulations Piper Cherokee 180, which is fantastic plane. If you're into the GA aircraft like myself, this is definitely a plane that you want to add to your collection of GA aircraft. This is not one of the standard paints for this plane. This is actually a guy on the A2A forums called Tim Snarhop. He actually produced this repaint, and it is fantastic. I really like it. I think it looks absolutely fabulous. So let's just see if we can have a little quick look around here. A bit jerky. See if I can get away from that a little bit. Looks absolutely fantastic. Probably should use my shortcut keys. See from the front. There's the front wheel. Let me start that again. From the side, the back, the other side, and back to the. There's the front wheel. I'm still getting used to my views, but you can see it's actually a fantastic plane. It looks amazing. Fantastic plane, fantastic repaint. So thanks, Tim, for your contribution to the A2A Cherokee community, which is fantastic. Okay, so what I really want to do is just jump in the plane and show you what this thing looks like. Now, we could go over, you know, some of the features that A2A includes with their planes, and they are fantastic features, such as the pre-flight checks, and that sort of thing. You know, you can take off the tie downs and check your pitot tube and stuff like that. So you can simulate the full pre-flight of the plane. I'm not going to do that in this video. I think that's probably been covered by a number of other videos that have come out, and even A2A themselves do a fantastic video of this plane and those particular features. You know, they've done a fantastic job. The main reason I don't want to do it the main reason that I don't want to do it is because of Easy Dock and some of the issues with trying to get the views to work. It doesn't always work out that well. So that's pretty much my main reason. So really what I want to do is just have a good look around the plane and show you guys some of the base features and a little bit about what the plane looks like. We'll start it up, do a startup procedure, and maybe just get it up on the runway, do a run up and off into the skies for a little fly around. I'm actually at Bankstown Airport, which is one of the airports just outside. It's actually part of the Sydney metro area, and it is one of basically the GA kind of aircraft airports in Sydney, and it's just on the other side of the international airport, so a lot of the domestic or the local sort of GA planes will fly out of here. A lot of flying schools come out of this airport as well. Now I've actually never been to this airport, so I have no idea what it looks like. You'll see some of these planes here getting a repaint while we're looking around. It loads those, you can see things, mainly the planes just loading there. Okay, so why don't we just open one of the views here. Now you can go in this instrument view. I'm going to do mini controls, so we're kind of going to speed things up a little bit by doing this. We're going to take off the wheel chocks. We're going to take off the tie downs, and I think everything else we'll leave it as it is. Now, was there something I wanted to do? Quick look, payload manager. I guess I might just show you the maintenance hangar. See, the plane is in good condition. I've already done 4.2 hours in this plane. It's in good condition. It's really cool. Now you can also do the typical removing the items off the plane, give it a bit of a bare bones look. Personally, I love all this stuff. I think it's fantastic. You know, you got your changing batteries, all that sort of thing. If you click these little question marks here, you can learn a little bit about batteries and stuff like that. What else is there? You can open the engine bay here. You can have a look, and this here will give you some yellow sort of yellow background around this text, so it lets you know, or red, probably goes to red, just to indicate that they need to be repaired, which has happened to me in the past. Interesting that in this shot my plane is actually white. White and blue, not white and red. But anyway, we can overlook that. Let's not be too picky. Then they've also got the oil. So it's really cool the way you can kind of simulate what it'd be like to have a real plane like this. And if you're a fan of the old planes like myself, this is very cool. So why don't we now just jump into the cockpit. I think I can do, I've set up some shortcuts with EasyDock, and it is kind of working the way I'd prefer it. So this is the interior here. So it's very cool, very well designed. Textures are amazing. You know, this is absolutely done in a fantastic form. You know, it's look at the detail, the textures, it looks really amazing. I'm really super happy with this plane. If there was anything I would complain about, if you could say it's a complaint, you know, if we look at this dash, I just want to armor all that. Here in Australia we have armor all, or I just want to wipe it down. Just looking at that is driving me insane. Maybe it's a bit of OCD, but I just want to clean that cockpit. Maybe someone can do a reskin of the interior with a nice shiny cockpit, but I guess that's what these real planes end up looking like. So let's get down in our normal position. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do at least the startup flight, and we'll see if we have any luck with getting this thing going. Actually, what I should do is you've got your little vents here. You can turn these on and off. We'll just put a bit of ventilation in the plane. Put these on 14%. I'm also going to open this window, and we've got our map here that you can open. We're not going to be using that, and we also have our pilot notes here. So if we're just, I can't click that, so why don't we just release this belt here, the locking system, and we get our, if you click on this, you get your pilot's notes, and it tells you a little bit about what's going on, and it gives you the checklist, which we're going to do. So we're going to do airplane weight and balance is checked. We can actually do that by looking at payload and fuel manager. Here you can see we don't have a lot of fuel, so I might just add 14 gallons. It doesn't really matter all that much what we're going to be doing today, but it is all good. You know, you can increase, give your pilot a little bit of beef. You can check your oil. You can also add different passengers, you know, add multiple passengers like that. And if you look, you can actually see that the plane sort of moves. If you look in the kind of background now, let's see if I can add passengers here. We'll add this girl, this guy. You can see the plane is just shuffling a little bit. So, you know, this is really cool that you can actually do this stuff, and it kind of, you know, symbolizes that weight change. You can also have metric units. For me, that's pretty cool because I live in Australia. We use metric. If you prefer to use imperial, that's fine too. You use what suits you. Okay, so let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is hide my yoke. We're going to do airplane weight and balance checked. We've already done that. We're going to close the cabin door. If we look over here, the door's closed, but you have this latch here. If you open it, you'll see the door just kind of unlocks there, and then you'll be able to open it. If we just pull this shut again, it's closed, and then we latch it closed. These planes only have one door, I believe, so that solves that problem. Controls are free and correct, so there we go. We definitely got that. We'll hold the yoke again. Ignition and avionics. Here is the battery on switch. Ignition and avionics are off. The ignition's off. Master switch is on, which I've already preemptively done that. Now we can check the fuel. If we go over to here, we see the fuel is fine. What else do we need to do? Fuel selector, let's go and have a look at that. We can see we're on the left tank, that's off, that's on, that's the right tank. So we're going to leave it on the left tank for the time being. get this checklist back up. Every time I change views, it disappears. It'd be cool if that stayed up. But anyway, we're going to check the flaps. You can see that's working. We're just going to leave that extended, probably over checking that. If we just jump over the passenger seat a little bit, and we can just check that one's working as well. We'll leave it extended. And back to the driver's position and pilot's position, if you want to call it that. Driver's, pilot. Okay. Flaps extended. Elevator trim is set for takeoff. That is pretty much where I leave mine. I'm going to leave it where it is. And then we have our beacon, which is already on, which I've left it on. Didn't follow the shutdown procedure. Okay, let's go to page 2. Wheel brakes are on, which we have it here. If I click this, you'll see parking brake is on and off. Fuel selector is on the fullest tank. We've already done that. Master switch is on. It's true already, which is over here. Electric fuel pump. We'll test that. You can hear that running there. That's probably enough. Primer. Do 1 to 3 strokes. I'm just going to do 2. Let's do a third one for sake. Mixture's full rich, which it already is. Throttle is cracked a little bit. Area is clear. Is there anyone around? There's a few planes, but no people. We'll just yell out the window, clear! And we're good to start the engines. So let's hit the area's clear. Ignition is switched to both here, and we will press the starter, and quite easily started. I want to get this sitting to about oops, why are we moving? Get that brake on. Sit this on about 1000 RPM. We want to check the oil pressure here, and I'm just going to swing over to here real quick. Oil pressure, just give this revs a little bit. Fuel pressure, amps, oil pressure is green, oil temperature is cold. So oil pressure is checked, ammeters checked, nav lights as required. Get back over to the driver's seat. I just don't want to do that flicking of the switches. We'll set the, I think this is the nav here. We can actually have it on dim. That's dim. This is set to bright, but I'm just going to leave it on dim. That's fine. Nav lights, altimeter set. I'm not going to bother with that. I didn't actually check what the altimeter is. I'm just leaving it as it is for what we're doing. Obviously, if you were going to go on a real flight, you would find out what the actually ammeter altimeter set. We would do that. We would set our altimeter here. I'm just going to leave it. Nav lights are on. Altimeter set. Heading is set. We'll do that on our takeoff. If we wanted to, I don't know which runway we're going to take off from, but essentially I'm just going to put it for east right now, if that's what we end up using. Radio master is on. It should be this. That's the avionics switch. Pitot heat I'm not going to turn on. Radios are on, so all the radios are already switched on. I haven't switched them off when I've previously flown the plane. So, okay. We might do our run-up check when we get to the runway. So why don't we just, that gives us the oil a bit of time to the temperature to heat up. So why don't we just taxi out. Where's my taxi lights? Landing lights. Fuel pump. Nav. I don't know where my taxi lights are in this plane. Maybe it's just the strobes, so we might just turn those on. I guess that's what you would do if you didn't have taxi lights. Okay. So we're just going to try and find a runway I'm not all that familiar with this airport, so... Oops, got my jacket caught on my throttle, which is not a good idea. We probably would just want to slow down a little bit here. Oh, what have we done? I've crashed into a building? Where? I've actually crashed into a building. Okay, I'll be right back. I don't know what happened there, but it's loading my Cessna. So these things happen. I've crashed into the building. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, so we're back. After that crash, I crashed again. I just couldn't seem to turn around in that particular spot, and I was supposedly hitting the hangar, and it didn't look like I was hitting it, but I was. So anyway, we're back, and the reason why I started us off in a different spot, but I guess one good thing came out of it. I actually get to show you the maintenance hangar because there was some damage to the plane. You can see here now some parts are worn out, the engine accessories need repairs, spark plugs are fouled, and you know, it's just a mess. So as you can see here, sparks are red, flaps on the right is broken. You know, we have some damage, so all you do is you just left click on that and it repairs it. So this is kind of I guess a cool thing that actually got to show us. Now here we actually get to see the engine. The oil filter's damaged or needs replacing from hitting the wall. Replace the magneto. What does it say here? Replace the oil pump. We're going to check to a compression test. We've got a damaged cylinder. So we're going to replace this cylinder. And I'll just repair these just in case, and we'll do another compression test. Spark plugs. I think the spark's actually okay. There don't seem to be anything wrong with them, so I think we've fixed everything. So anyway, we are good. General condition, core is not bad. What you can do is complete overhaul, and that will just make everything like new. That's how you kind of cheat. So what I'm going to do is go to the mini controls, and I'm just going to auto start just to get us back where we were. I think we're kind of good to go. Alright, oops, there we go. It didn't have the brake on. We're going pretty fast. So alright, let's try and find a taxiway. Let's try and taxi to one of the runways. Alright, let's see if we can find a runway here. I think maybe there's one going this way. We'll just go over here and see what we can find. This is a default airport. I don't know if this is the prepared one. I mean, I have Orbix Australia, the whole pack from Orbix for Australia, so this could be part of that, and looking pretty cool as well. So this looks like one of the... What we might do is chuck a righty here, and we might just travel down this way. We should try to stay on the taxi line, which I'm not doing a good job. I don't have rudder pedals yet, and I tell you, I think it's one of the things on my list of things to do, to get. There's just so many things to buy. Spend a lot of money on additional aircraft, so you can hear the engines actually fouling up there. So just turn that up a little bit. Yeah, so I want to get a capture card and make these recordings a bit better. And obviously I'm using a Cytec Cyborg Fly 5, I think it's called, joystick. I definitely want to get the yoke and pedals, because when I went up in the Cessna that I flew, my first ever introductory trial flight where I actually got to fly the Cessna, just that mechanical motion of using a yoke and pedals compared to a joystick, it's just not the same, and your body gets conditioned to using, you know, to the motion of using a joystick, which kind of feels weird. You know, you just feel a little bit uncoordinated instead of training your body to use the proper you know, yoke and rudder and that sort of thing. So okay, we're gonna just stop here. I probably should have done actually done this off the runway, but anyway, we're gonna put our brakes on if it lets me. Doesn't want to let me. Do that once I've done that, and got my landing lights now on. So we're just going to do a quick, hopefully no one flies in here. We've got this guy, he might come in. Anyway, I'm just going to get us back to the ground check. So what we would do is rev up the engine to 2000 RPM. Now that the engine's warmed up after all that playing around, trying to get the plane out of the hangars. So we get it to 2000 RPM and we do a mags check. We just check that the revs don't drop off more than 125. That looks quite good. Then we do the left mag and back to both. And we also want to check the engine instruments. They're all looking pretty good. Temperature, all that stuff's looking good. Amps, everything looks fine. And then we'd put our seatbelt on. Seatbelts check secure. I don't think this has seatbelts to click. That ain't gonna work, is it? No. Somewhere I saw a plane with that. I don't know where it was. Maybe it was me just thinking I saw it. Flight controls, trim. Yep, let's get my trim back to where it's supposed to be, which is going to be 10 degrees off flaps. We should turn our fuel pump on, and engine gauges are normal, wing flaps as required, and we're good to go. Alright, let's drop this brake. We'll just put that away and get my view where I want it to be since I don't have track IR. And let's just get cranking. Probably should put my headphones in. And it's just that little bit quieter. Shut my window. Probably should have done all this. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Runway incursion. And really should have set my heading bug here to match the runway heading. So a bit sloppy, but you know, okay. That's why we do flight simulation, so we can learn all about this stuff. Just going to reduce my acceleration there. Well, I think we need to keep this about 75 to 90 as a climb speed. I'm just going to trim the nose down a little bit. We put our flaps up. We don't have any gear, so nothing to worry about there. I'm going to just turn my fuel pump off now. Probably I'll turn my landing lights off, but obviously we don't. I think we keep them on a little bit longer. So we're climbing at a pretty good rate. This is Bankstown and Orbix. Another look at Orbix, which is really cool. Pretty amazing scenery that they do. And since we're in the Sydney area, I'll just get up to about 2,000 feet. Just trim this nose down a little bit more. I'm going to keep the mixture rich until we get a little bit higher. And let's just see, the city is to the left. We can see Sydney International Airport's over there to the left, where the looks like there's a fire. Okay, we're about 2,500. I might just start to clean my mixture out a little bit. We'll look at our EGT, I believe, and as we lean that off, the EGT climbs, and we'll start to hear the engine splutter a little bit about there, and then we just add that bit more mixture. Very, very nice plane. Very cool. So here's the city. As I've just leaned that off, I'm starting to lose height. So we see our pitch drop. So this plane is sensitive to throttle airspeed. If you reduce your airspeed, reduce your throttle, you're reducing your airspeed, you'll drop the pitch. It'll start to pitch down, and vice versa, it'll pitch up if you accelerate. Let's just bank over to the left here. And we'll just go over the city. It's very, very cool scenery by Orbix for Sydney. Looks pretty realistic, I have to say. The road network, yeah, I guess that looks pretty good. That looks pretty real. And that is probably one of the reasons why I've been spending a bit more time in Prepared over X-Plane is the Orbix scenery. I have to admit, and these very, very cool airplanes from A2A. So now I have two of their airplanes, the 172 and now the Cherokee. Cherokee is definitely a favorite, and definitely has made me think that it would be absolutely amazing to own this plane, or a plane like a Piper Cherokee. So we have a bit of air traffic around. We're just going to the city from the southern part of Sydney here, probably heading from the south going north. All the Sydney beaches are to my right, and there is the Sydney International runways. We'll see there to my right as well. It's part of Botany Bay. Probably going into illegal airspace. Not really spending too much time looking at that. Hey, what was that in the distance there? I just might ease off my throttle a bit. Look at that. Oh, there's fireworks. What is going on over there? We get to see some fireworks. How cool is that? That's pretty cool. Let's just get outside the plane here and we'll have a little look around. What an absolutely beautiful plane. Now how cool would it be to fly this plane over Sydney? I think we had a Virgin plane over there in the back. Look at that, we have some fireworks. That is epic. We also have, I feel really bad, I don't know, I probably should know, I'm not a big sports person. What is that? Something Arena, one of the stadiums there where they play sport and stuff, like the Rugby League and AFL here, Australian Football League. Should know that. So we're in the plane here, we'll get back in the cockpit. Look at those, that is pretty cool. Would have been cool to do this at night and see. I'm just totally surprised that there's actually fireworks here in the city, especially during the daytime. We also have the God, my memory. We've got our tower here. I can't remember what they call that thing. That's terrible. I think they've changed the name of it now. I just don't pay any attention to it, even though I work in the city every day. Yeah, we've got that kind of tower thing. I can't remember what it's called anymore. We also have the Sydney Harbour Bridge, which is pretty iconic, I guess. What is missing here is on the opposite side of on this side, pretty much directly in front of the plane here on the opposite side of the harbour there would be Luna Park, and that is not there. That's missing. And there's also going to be a casino going up where James Packer, probably one of the richest guys in Australia, is building a casino here, pretty much right underneath the plane here, which is pretty much where I work. Actually, right here, he's building a casino, just kind of around this area. And I work pretty much around this part of the city, right in the harbour here, and kind of get to look out over the bridge almost every day for my lunch. Check it out. And to the right we have the famous Opera House. So this is now turned from a Cherokee to a Sydney Harbour escape. We'll just fly back around. Looks like we still have some of those fireworks there. There's the tower there. So pretty decent work for the city, the Sydney city. You know, I think the fireworks is a very cool touch. You know, the texture on the ground there is kind of a bit strange, but you know, that can only get better. But at least they've modelled some of the main buildings. I don't believe it's that flat here around the city. There's generally buildings all over the place, anywhere through here, so it seems a little bit shy of buildings, but that's fine. Pretty cool anyway. And here we have a bit of a flyby from the tower, I guess. We'll just shake our wings. Better pull the nose up. There we go. So anyway, that is the fantastic A2A Simulations Piper Cherokee in a nutshell. Very, very nice plane. Highly recommended. Works fantastic in Prepared. And combine that with some Orbic scenery and you have a pretty exciting experience and very realistic to get a feel for what real flying is like. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, as always, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of this kind of thing, please subscribe to the channel. Your support is absolutely I'm absolutely grateful for everyone that subscribes to the channel and watches these videos. It's amazing. We're getting close to 200 subscribers on the channel, and I think that is just a massive achievement. It's not something I ever expected when I started my channel. And as you know, I've only just recently kind of reignited my passion for making more of these videos. So if you want to see more of this stuff and you want to support me in producing better content and more often, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and always feel free to comment, and I will be sure to try to bring you some entertaining reviews of products and aeroplanes from Flight Simulator, Prepared, and X-Plane. and possibly even some other content. So thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one.